and welcome to What's Growing at CMC, the weekly segment where I, Daniel,
and I, Talasha, share with you about some of the ways we see God at work here at College Mennonite Church.
Each of us are finding our unique ways to worship right now.
We loved seeing a picture of Reynard playing his violin during worship last week.
Reynard, we miss you, Beatrice, and your violin in our worship services.
But we love that you have found a way to worship through that gift, even from Massachusetts.
Rachel Hartzler and her grandsons have been joining us from North Carolina for a few weeks.
We'll show you a picture that Ellis drew of our worship service on Sunday.
You'll also soon see a picture of David's sermon writing process.
He and Madeline have been completely restoring their new home, which means they are neck deep in projects.
Like me, David tends to think best while doing things with his hands.
So he thinks and he plans as he works, scribbling his sermon notes on the drywall or whatever surface is near.
If those walls could talk.
So that's David's sermon writing process, but we also learned something about Jonathan Ruel's sermon listening process.
Jonathan draws his way through worship.
I often look at his morning's creations and think those could lead us in a different kind of worship.
And you'll see a picture soon, of course.
You may want to go back to it later to pause on the picture so you can catch some of the amazing details of his drawings.
Today, we bring you greetings from Malachi Lind, who is settling into his service adventure unit in Jackson, Mississippi.
And greetings from his dad, Matthew Lind, who had a 7-hour kayak trip on the Elkhart River a few weeks ago.
If you ever want us to give greetings to your church family, just send us a picture and we'll include it.
We also have a message from the Green family.
They are so grateful for the outpouring of love from their church family during their time of need.
Annalise turns 15 on Wednesday.
It will be a bittersweet day with her mom still gone from home.
So, here's where the church family steps in.
Please send Annalise cards and messages for her birthday week.
Show her just how deep the love of God is.
Speaking of spreading joy and love, don't forget the angel tree.
If you have children or nieces or nephews, maybe you want to match the number of angel tree children you support with the number of children in your family that you're remembering this Christmas.
There are also opportunities to support people in our church family as the holidays get closer.
Do you remember last year how we enjoyed pulling ideas from the Encircling Exchange and brightening people's Christmas that way?
We still get to do that this year.
Keep checking that section, the Encircling Exchange section of your weekly emails to find out what needs there are right here in our community.
Mark your calendars for next Sunday, November 15.
We are planning our next outdoor gathering to happen from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock that day.
Bring the fruits of your labor from this past year to share with the church community.
What have you been working at this year?
What have you been growing?
What have you learned to create?
Bring something to share, and at the end of our time together, we will also get to choose. Each of us will get to choose something to take home.
We will also be presenting the first graders with their Bibles that day.
Yes, this is the big important part of our gathering. So bring your own pen so that you can mark your favorite verse in their Bibles.
And you will all be invited to join the first graders and their families in an outdoor Bible treasure hunt.
Bring your own Bible for the treasure hunt.
And as always, this event will be fully masked.
We ask that you self-screen before the event, staying away if you're feeling ill or if you've been exposed to anyone who is ill.
This is quite the week we have had.
We usually record this segment on Wednesdays, so things happen in the world between the time of our recording and the time that you view this on a Sunday morning.
The reality when we are recording this is different from the reality we are going to live in when this segment first airs on Sunday, November 8, 2020.
And the two of us can't predict what that reality will be.
But we do know this.
Whatever is to come, God is already there.
God was, God is, and God will be.
Thanks be to God.
There's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing in the garden of God. Reaping and sowing, planting and hoeing, there's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing in the garden of God. Reaping and sowing, planting and hoeing, there's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing